treating before fun-sized chocolate bars, there were soul cakes, small spiced offerings baked for the dead and given to the living. Today we're reviving a recipe that fed both faith and folklore. Children and beggars would go door to door, souling, singing for cakes. One old rhyme went, a soul cake, please good missus, a soul cake. Soul cakes were once baked for Samhain, then later on for All Saints' Day on November the 2nd. The idea was to offer a cooked item in exchange for a prayer for a departed loved one. I've taken this recipe off the Sainsbury's website. It's got good reviews and I've tweaked it slightly. So we'll go along and see how we get on. Now, first of all, put your oven onto gas mark 4. I'll put the conversions on the screen somewhere in here. And then in your bowl, you need 250 grams of plain flour. That's all-purpose flour to Americans. I've got 50 grams of rice flour. Now, if you can't get rice flour, just do 300 grams of plain flour because that's what the original recipe says. I just want the extra crunch. 2 teaspoons of mixed spice, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'll just stick that into there. Just sift it in. Sift it into your bowl. Sifting is important just to get rid of all the lumps, because as flour sits, it does get lumps, unfortunately. And then to that, I'm going to add some freshly grated nutmeg. If you don't have fresh a nutmeg that you can grate fresh, then use the other sort. What's the other sort? The already grated variety. Use nutmeg powder, about 1/4 teaspoon would do. So I'm just gonna use my zester, which will probably blunt it, and put about that much in. It's got a very distinctive flavour, nutmeg, and oh, it's lovely. It's very perfuming, so go easy on it. Mix that in, make sure it's all incorporated, and then add in 150 grams of caster sugar. If you don't have caster sugar, then please use normal sugar, it's fine. Remember years ago they wouldn't have had this, they'd have just used what was available. Now to that I'm going to add 150 grams of butter. You can use margarine or plant-based spreads as well. That's up to you. You do you. So you can either use the rubbing in technique, or you can use a pastry cutter. Or, if you feel you want to, you could use a food processor. So as I was saying, these are called soul cakes, and they date back to, I think, the Middle Ages, really. It was originally a pagan tradition. But later on, when we wanted to celebrate All Saints' Day, we started using them then as well. I'll be back with you when I've done this. Once you've got a breadcrumb consistency such as this, add 75 grams of currants. Now, I don't have any currants in the house, but I do have cranberries, and I love cranberries. So I'm putting dried cranberries in there. Traditionally, it was sometimes in and sometimes not in. So you can go with whatever you want on this one. If it was a little more frugal and the person making these was a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? Poor, shall we say? Then yes, these weren't, you know, the fruit wasn't included if you were poor. Take an egg, 1 large egg. Just shove that to one side for a moment. Crack it into a bowl. Half a tablespoon of lemon juice. Now I'm just using the squeezy bottle variety because that's what I've got in the house. However, you can use orange juice, you could use vinegar if you wanted. Apple cider vinegar is really good, you could use that, and in fact the website actually says to do that, so you know, it's up to you. Give it a whisk. Most recipes back in the day, there were very few ingredients, and this sticks to that as well. I believe these are still made in the north of England. However, I'm from the north, as you can probably tell, and we don't do it around these parts. I believe in Sheffield they do, but if you're from Sheffield and you watch my channel, let me know below. If you do these in your part of the world, let me know below as well, because I've never heard of them until I went looking on the internet for them. I thought there was something to do with America, to be fair, but they're not. They're British. These were traditionally done around about Halloween, Samhain as it was called. The Christian church decided to, when they were trying to get rid of paganism, they brought in something to celebrate All Saints' Day instead of the pagan version of all the dead people. So they took this on board. So sometimes you can see these with crosses on top, depending on where you come from. And I believe in Sheffield today they still make it, but this needs a little bit more fluid in it because I want it to come together. So I'm going to get some milk, bear with. Depending on where you are, if your air is moister, then your flour will be retaining a bit more fluid. So I'll say just put it in until it comes together, but you don't want it too wet. You want to be able to knead it into a dough that stays together. So I think that'll do for now, and we'll see how we get on. So make sure your mitts are clean. We don't want the sills thinking we're dirty devils, do we? Bring it all together. And if it feels a bit wet, sorry, or even dry, going too low. If it feels a bit too dry while you're doing it, then pop some more fluid in. But you will find the heat off your hand and the milk and the fluid you've added should be enough. So you can see how Halloween became what it is today with trick-or-treating, really. There you go, our pastry has come together. I'm just going to let that sit for about 20 minutes to relax in the fridge, and then I'll be back with you. Your cookie dough has been in the fridge for about half an hour. Turn it out onto a lightly floured, she remembers at the last minute. Keep your flour for a moment, you're going to need it, and turn it over, she says. Hopefully, whoops a daisy, nearly. And flour your rolling pin. And then we're going to roll it out to about a 1/4 inch thickness. Hopefully, because I'm not a good roller. You know me, guys, not a roller. And when you see your rolling pin starting to stick, just put some more flour on it. Rub it on gently, it'll be fine. Taking a 6cm cookie cutter, then start and cut out your cookies. You can use shaped cookie cutters if that's what you want to do. That's not a problem. But the best thing to do is to make indents for them first of all, and then, oopsie, and then transfer them to a cookie sheet. Because what can happen if you're not careful is it can all break. And just go underneath and pop them up. And when you get to this stage, what we need to do is pull it all together and re-roll it, and it won't harm it at all. Some chefs say don't do that. I'm not on that one. It's waste not want not in my house. But once you've got a tray full, it's time to score them. I'm going to score mine with a cross. You don't have to. So that's one nice big cross. On each one, and just pop them in the oven. So my soul cakes have been in the oven for 25 minutes and they've come out, and this is what they look like. Look at those lovely things there. Now, it was traditionally served with a glass of wine. So, hey ho, I'm always in. Crunchy. Not too sweet. A little bit of chew from the fruit. What they're like with some wine, let's see. Actually, that works with that wine. Lovely. Soul cakes remind us that food isn't just fuel, it's ritual, memory and meaning. They were baked not for profit but for prayer, and not for pleasure but for peace. So this All Souls Day, bake a batch, share them, remember someone. If you like what I'm doing, hit me up with a thumbs up, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Let me know please if you've ever made these, or if you're from Sheffield and you have had these. You can now eat these words.